This is Rap the News, and people have no idea about all the things that we go through as a people. With that said, I visited a lot of KKK, Tea Party, Patriot, Nazi, Skinhead, all different kinds of racial groups on Reddit, everywhere. And I just wanted to hear and see and read what they had to say. And it was pretty sickening to see all of the negative things and all of the racial things and all of the jokes and everything that they made daily. It was like an obsession. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like a fixation and an obsession, which is insanity. And so it stated on a lot of these sites for the KKK or the skinheads or the Nazis or whoever the racial group was, it stated for them to join the police department, the paramedics, doctors, lawyers, judges, and to even the fire department. If our houses catch fire, let it burn. If you get in the back of that paramedic, let it burn. If you go to the hospital, let it burn, and so on and so forth. Basically, do not resuscitate is what was on these sites. So when you know, just like I said, how can you win in a system like this? You don't got no police, you don't got no military, you don't have no help, and then you got all of these people racist in the departments where you call for help. Let's get into it.
And off the top tonight at 6, cop controversy in Muskegon. An officer with a KKK item hanging up in his house.
The item and Confederate flags were discovered by prospective home buyers, an African-American couple.
A local Ku Klux Klan controversy is growing. Western News has learned that criminal cases are being dropped just days after an investigation led to the end of 2 officers' careers. Western News' Greg Fox is live in Fruitland Park in Lake County. And Greg, how many cases are being tossed?
The state attorney's office in Lake County decided today to drop 3 cases, but they're also going to be making adjustments to 7 other cases that we'll explain more about in a minute because of the involvement of these 2 officers in those cases. All of that going on here in Fruitland Park has left this community shaken. Controversy erupted over former Deputy Chief David Borst and former Officer George Honeywell. Borst quit and Honeywell was fired after the state released an FBI report listing the 2 former officers as members of the Ku Klux Klan. Prosecutors told Chief Isaacs the 2 officers' names will be dropped from 7 witness lists.
Good evening, I'm Clarice Tinsley. A Dallas County election judge was removed from his position after a racist post was discovered on his Facebook page. 43-year-old Randy Smith worked as a Democratic election judge for nearly 20 years.
I was wrong, but I have deleted the account, and I am aware now of what I did wrong.
Colleagues of Kathy Albano, known as Rena on social media, are concerned she might be doing her job with an offensive mindset. The EMT first thanked everyone for backup at a stabbing scene in Brooklyn last week. But when asked what happened, the response said, just the animals stabbing each other.
Very upset. EMS is a frustrating job. I totally get that. There's no excuse around that.
The colleague also pointed out this post from Facebook. Albano sounding off on the mass shooting in Brownsville. It said, last night all hell broke out in Brownsville with over 11 people shot. They were all screaming for the police. Why are you yelling for the police? The police are too busy trying to dry out their uniforms from the water bucket attack. Stop calling the police when you are in danger. Call a crackhead instead.
Yeah, we're talking about Alex McNabb. He's an EMT with the Jeb Stuart Volunteer Rescue Squad. He's on unpaid leave right now as the Virginia Department of Health investigates his conduct. Reports from CNN and the Huffington Post took excerpts from him while on a white supremacist podcast, which he frequently co-hosts. He's used multiple slurs for black people, and in this segment in 2016, he jokes about a mostly black apartment complex where he frequently responds.
complex is noted for large groups of people from all over Africa and West Africa. Funny how they self-segregate. It's jokingly referred to as Ebola Alley by the crew that regularly works there, as there's so many sick people coming in and out of there.
This massive backyard party that drew around 1,000 people in this small town apparently prompted the firefighters' rant on Facebook. Police broke up the bash, and a few days later, the fire chief says firefighter Kyle Grenier posted this racially charged message. I can see the next fire call will be this house on fire, and I'll make sure I can't find the hydrant, LOL. Just make sure no water, so no more house parties with black Boston people.
Even in little old Belding, it doesn't take long to make a splash. That's what happened at some point yesterday when a political discussion online turned into this. These are the words of a then Belding firefighter directed toward a black woman online from the other side of the country. F Black Lives Matter. You are the epitome of an N-word. And if you think it's just black lives, kiss my A, B, and go back to the fields that us in the North fought to free you from.
The police chief of a city in West Georgia has resigned, and an officer is fired after body camera video shows the two making racist comments. Happened this past Monday. The City Council of Hamilton, Georgia, asked for the resignation of Chief Gene Allman and terminated Sergeant John Brooks. Both can be heard on the video, which was made hours before the start of a Black Lives Matter march last June. A part-time city employee found the footage while checking out the body camera to see if it was working. That employee then brought it to the mayor's office.
It seems to me like they furnished them a house to live in. They furnished them clothes to put on their back. They furnished them food to put on their table, and all they had to do was work. And now we give them all those things and they don't have to work. That's it.
After reviewing the footage, I think it speaks for itself. The city, its failure to take action at that point in time would have been inexplicable. It had to be done.
Concerns about racism in the Hempstead Fire Department in Nassau County after social media posts involving firefighters.
One post essentially praised the hosing down of black protesters. The other referred to two brown-skinned people as animals. The firefighter was suspended. And according to many here today, he should have been terminated. They say the governing body for the fire department isn't acting in good faith and should be replaced by a commission that's made up of only Hempstead residents and reflects the community.
This is how black people get killed. When you send them home and they don't know how to fight for themselves. I had to talk to somebody, maybe the media, somebody, to let people know how I'm being treated up in this place.
That encounter predated Tuesday's incident that propelled Schlossberg to infamy. Someone posted this video showing the attorney yelling at restaurant employees for speaking Spanish to two regular customers.
My guess is they're not documented. So my next call is to ICE to have each one of them kicked out of my country. I pay for their welfare. I pay for their ability to be here.
Activists on Twitter quickly identified the raging man as attorney Aaron Schlossberg. They noted the irony that his website offers consultations in Spanish.
An Ohio police chief lost his job after placing a KKK sign on a black officer's raincoat on surveillance camera. Chief Anthony Campo of the Sheriff Lynn Lake Police Department put the note on the raincoat set aside for the officer just before he entered the room. The note read, Ku Klux Klan, the name of the nation's most notorious white supremacy group. A union representing the police brought the incident to the attention of the mayor.
Jacksonville judge under fire accused of using racist and sexist language. An investigative panel finding Judge Mark Halsey violated the Code of Judicial Conduct.
Many people have complained about is this, and that's his attitude towards African Americans, saying that at one point he had said to a staff member, they got to get back on the ship and go back to Africa.
We are following breaking news out of Colorado. 3 police officers and 2 paramedics have been indicted of criminally negligent homicide and manslaughter charges in the 2019 death of Elijah McClain. The 23-year-old was walking home after buying a drink at a store when police stopped and restrained him. McClain was also injected with ketamine during the incident. Officials say the investigation was delayed because of the coronavirus pandemic.
We're here today because Elijah McClain is not here, and he should be. He was a son, a nephew, a brother, and a friend. When he died, he was only 23 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. And his family and his friends must now go on and live without him. His death is a loss to all of us.
McLean was approached by police after someone called in a report of a suspicious person wearing a ski mask. A report later found Aurora police had no legal basis to stop, frisk, and violently restrain McLean.
When the ambulance gets here, we're going to go ahead and give him some ketamine.
Aurora paramedics injected McLean with 500 milligrams of ketamine, the entire vial.
We'll give that a couple of minutes. We'll see if that works.
A dose meant for a 200-pound person. McLean weighed just 143 pounds. The coroner ruled his death undetermined, but couldn't rule out a negative reaction to the drug.
Wiley ISD leaders have not determined what its next steps will be after district leaders apologized for an assignment that featured a cartoon that appeared to compare police with the KKK and slave owners. The cartoon caught the attention of the National Fraternal Order of Police, and that's how they saw it. The district issued an apology and removed that assignment that 400 eighth graders had received.
This political cartoon showing the evolution of slave owners, the KKK, and police kneeling on the neck of a black man that has caused controversy in Wiley ISD and has been canceled as a lesson after it was shown to 400 eighth graders at Cooper Junior High.
Objection form.
We say a lot of inappropriate stuff, all joking around. Not proud of some of the things that I've said before.
How do you say inappropriate things about kids with Down syndrome?
But what's the symbolic meaning? I'm lost on that one. Does that mean white people good, black people bad? Thumbs down?
I don't remember.
You would agree with me, would you not, that that comment's improper?
Inappropriate, yes. Not proud of it.
Oh. Then there's the term nigger. And then there's the comment, did you cut a check for nigger Chris Smith? Did he say anything else? Then you say golf and baseball are rich white man's and poor Latinos' sport. Hoops are for niggers and white guys that don't have enough eye-hand coordination to hit a baseball or golf ball. 28 has the words, drop your suit against Anthony, nigger lover 88 with 2 swastikas. Is that your handiwork, sir?
Objection of form.
Never seen this before.
It's okay, we'll guide each other down this tunnel. You show me how to disrespect property and con people on the streets, and I'll show you good old-fashioned Southern racism. That was referring to you, wasn't it? As a good old-fashioned Southern racist.
Sounds like I was joking around.
This is what deadly force looks like. His face took a beating, his body took a beating, the swelling is obvious days later, day of and days later, and this is totally unacceptable.
Attorneys for the family of Tawan Boyd are suing 5 Baltimore County police officers, a county paramedic, and an EMT for damages in excess of $10 million for the wrongful death in violation of his constitutional rights. Attorney Dwight Pettit says on September 18, 2016, Boyd called 911 for help.
Instead of receiving assistance, he was in fact beaten, and I think the pictures of his condition while he was in the hospital 3 days earlier show the severity of the beating that he underwent from 3 to 5 Baltimore County police officers.
The suit alleges the drug Haldol, given to Boyd by a medic called to the Middle River scene to calm him down, sent him immediately into cardiac arrest.